Hello, I'm Mark.
And my name is Adam. We are two members of a band called Taking Back Sunday. This is our 4-track history. So track 1 in our 4-track history will be Cute Without the E. You want to talk about that?
What do you want to say about it?
Well, I think that song was the song that really kicked things off for us.
It sure was.
Because we made a pretty cool video for it with our buddy Christian Winters, and that was right when it's off of our first record, Tell All Your Friends. And it was, at the time, it was being played a lot on MTV and things like that.
That was weird. You know, I remember coming home from tour and then turning on MTV2 and the commercial was on all the time and being, I don't know, just completely in shock that was happening.
Yeah, and then because we went from playing shows to nobody to playing shows to a lot of people in that time, and it was right around when that song came out, so we owe a lot to that song, I guess. Yeah, for us, I feel like on Tell All Your Friends, that was one of the more immediate songs. And then, and I think that maybe that's why people grabbed onto it so quickly.
You never know what people are going to really enjoy and what they're not going to enjoy.
Yeah.
We've been off on that, I feel like, a good amount of times.
Yeah. But, hey, you live and you learn.
And you know, sometimes it's great. It's a great thing.
Cute Without the E was the last song to get a title off of Tell All Your Friends, and it was we had played these shows with rival schools, and our buddy Neil Rubenstein and Mike Dubin were out with them. And Mike Dubin, for some reason, all day he had been saying how he was cutting people from the team. We don't know what team exactly, but he would just, if you said something, you know, that he didn't like, he'd be like, "Oh, you're cut from the team." And I was like, you know what, I think we should name that song that. And everybody else said, yeah. The rest is history. So track 2 on our 4-track history would be Make Damn Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which this song was, we had just made Louder Now with Eric Valentine. And this one, I remember even before we met with Eric, when we had the demo version in our little rehearsal space.
Yeah.
And everyone knew, or everyone thought we were onto something with this one. And it really took off.
I remember playing it in the studio, the practice studio that we were writing in New York, in the the city. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it started coming together, like I literally remember the first time, like playing the guitar, playing the drums, you singing the chorus. Like the first time it came all together, I was like, yo, this is gonna be the song.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, that video even, well, like, because that song we played on a ton of like late night shows.
Yeah. And
then the video, we put a lot of work into that, because I remember even when they were editing, going to like the little editing house, I guess they call it, but it was right down the street from Park La Brea, and just trying to get little transitions different, and then being like, well, it's just this small transition, why does it matter? And I'm like, well, because one day I'm gonna have to show my grandkids this, and you're probably not gonna do that. And they stopped arguing with me after that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, the video for Make Damn Sure, we just always like this idea of something awful turning into something beautiful, or just the juxtaposition. And then, I mean, if you're listening to the song, it kind of went right hand in hand with that, because it's pretty dark and a little like stocky.
What was the name of the guy that directed the video?
I don't remember off the top of my head, and I feel like a big jerk.
Right now, I feel like we should talk about him.
Mark,
it was Mark something.
Yeah.
Right.
But so he and that was a treatment that he had written up and submitted, and it just kind of immediately clicked, you know. And then I remember driving out, like, because we did it. All of the band shots where we're playing were filmed in this old freezer, mm-hmm. like where they used to store food, and they were blowing. They had this giant fan, and they were just blowing like all these leaves and things at us.
I was actually going to bring that up, but go. Yeah.
Oh
no. I mean, because I remember that, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Oh, Mark Clausfield.
Glassfield. That's
Yeah,
right.
duh. But I was just gonna say that, like, that stuff they were blowing on us. I was pulling it out of my teeth and hair for weeks.
Yeah, I choked when I just did like just the drums. You know, like, all right, Mark, you know, you get up there
Yeah.
and like the leaves were like right in front of my drum set, and I remember it.
You're like,
I was choking. Yeah, at one point.
Well, I'm glad you made it through.
Me too.
So track 3 for us would be Flicker Fade.
Flicker Fade.
And this one was the first one that really started coming together when we're writing for a record we have called Happiness Is. And it was one of the ones that once we started to play it live, it got an immediate reaction from the crowd, which hadn't happened in some time. And so, which made it very special for us, you know, just when you can get out there and be playing it for the first or second time and have it feel like it be a song that we've been playing for years, you know.
Yeah,
it's real special.
That was yeah. I felt like that album and that song kicked off what is now, which is, you know, people coming out to shows and us doing fairly well.
Yeah, better than we were.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, with how we're playing, like, because we're playing much better than we ever have before.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
then, but I think it takes like that kind of confidence or that kind of mindset, like, because we approach it as like, well, hey, we're lucky to be able to be doing this, and we'd like to see the crowd react.
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
When the tree fell, I just thought.
Oh
about
yeah.
that.
Also, when we were recording the demos for that, a tree fell on me.
Literally.
Which doesn't have anything to do with the song, but it's a thing that happened.
I think it was the same time, the same time that we laid down Flicker Fade for the first time.
Or it
one
could
of
have
those
been like
days.
that night.
Or that night, right?
Because like, I was outside having a smoke, and it was windy. It was about to storm, and then
it was that night. It definitely was. All right, but go
yeah.
ahead.
So then I turned to go in the house, and then there was a tree on top of me. So if anybody ever asks you, like, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? The answer is not until it's too late.
With that, that was one of the most gnarly things to look at.
Yeah.
And he was maybe an inch. If you stood an inch in any other direction,
Yeah, it would have killed me.
Yeah.
But instead, it just broke one leg and impaled the other.
Yeah. I found out that trees are very heavy.
Yeah, so heavy. Oh, well, yeah, because everybody was trying to lift it, because I was like, get this thing off me. And everybody tried to lift it, and they're like, we can't. And then so, like, 45 minutes later, here comes the EMT, the ambulance, and this guy's just running down the driveway, yanking on the chainsaw to get it started, and they chainsawed me out, took me to the hospital.
What a thing.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. Track 4, which would be Tidal Wave, which is the title track for our record Tidal Wave. See what I did there? So, but we, that one originally John wrote, and it was like kind of like slow and folky. And then you had the idea, you're like, hey man, we should speed that up.
Yeah.
And then we did, and that's the version that you pretty much hear on the record now. First, I think it was one of the first times we realized too, like, we can do anything we want so long as we like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And then that song too, also because we recorded the record and then we went out on a tour, and that song, we were playing it, no one had heard it before other than us playing it live, and that one also got a very immediate reaction, which always feels nice.
Yeah. That might be one of my favorite songs that we have.
Yeah, it's real fun to play.
It is.
Upbeat. Well, the thing that we started to notice is that, and one of the reasons why we made Tidal Wave the title track, was that there were a lot of themes of water coming up unintentionally in the lyrics, and since that song was one of the first ones for the record that we had worked on and like really nailed down, we figured it was just fitting to title the record that. There's for us, Tidal Wave, I think, really helped us to, or like I said earlier, to understand that whatever we like as a band is gonna, and like we put together ourselves, is gonna sound like Taking Back Sunday. So because even on Tidal Wave there's songs like Can't Look Back, which is very different than Tidal Wave. And it's just kind of I think we became more willing to wear some of our influences on our sleeves, and those are the kind of things that just get us through everyday life. And so now that we can incorporate them in the band and keep moving forward that way, I think that it's just going to make for a lot, hopefully, for a lot more records to come.
I hope, yeah.
We both hope that.